Many students today are struggling in school. Waking up early is hard, getting through the day is even harder, and trying to balance schoolwork with family, friends, chores, and possible jobs is probably the most difficult thing about being a student. We come to school to learn things deemed important for our future lives as adults, such as English, maths, sciences, you name it. Whether it be through an essay, a project, a presentation, or a test, students are evaluated daily to determine how well they are doing in school. But it seems that in our current day and age, a student's overall intelligence is based on their grades and average. There are so many factors that can influence how well a student performs on the given day, which will affect their mark. So are grades a reliable reflection of a student's intelligence? What has school become for students? Has the definition of learning been replaced with the meaning of memorizing? Is it more about learning or more about making it through the day without breaking down? Some excel and some don't, but how well you do in school doesn't define you, or has it?
Some of the classes I take, like if I'm interested in, I really enjoy it. Making new friends and just communicating with other people and meeting nice teachers. And that's about it, really.
What do you know?
I like high school because I like seeing my friends every day. That's it.
That's it?
And some of the teachers are really nice. Actually, most of them. Most of them are really nice. I like seeing them too, you know?
Like I can make friends, learn English. I don't know.
Just usually like when work starts to pile up, but that's usually my fault because I just procrastinate a lot.
Math, because I have taken that class. Is really hard. Not the question hard, is the English. I can understand it, and yeah.
I am a serial procrastinator. I have an ISU due today that I'm still working on. I feel like most of my best work is kind of done when I'm under stress because I get angry and then my anger kind of fuels how well I write.
They're mostly a long period of procrastination, and but once I finally get myself in a state of relaxation, I feel that I'm able to work to my full ability. That once I'm able to relax, cool off, forget about everything else, I can set aside that time to do schoolwork.
Really bad. Like, oh man, like part of me shatters because I feel like I'm not really good enough to, like, I don't know, it just feels terrible.
Yeah. Oh, it's like, oh, what's wrong with me? What did I miss? Like, why am I getting this mark? They give you a rubric, right? So you basically do everything on there, and it's like, why am I getting this mark? What did I miss? And you just start to question yourself and doubt yourself, and it just, it takes a toll on your confidence. But
If when I work really hard but I get the low mark, I will feel like peace, kind of mad, because if I know myself, I really work hard, so I will feel mad.
yeah.
I get super scared that it's just gonna like affect my overall mark, and then I start thinking about college, university, whatever. I'm scared they're gonna look at this mark and be like, oh, she wants to do this program, but she can't even get a good grade. Yeah, like it stresses me out a lot. So then I feel like I have to do better on the next test or next assignment, like way better.
Tests, essays, reflections, journals, projects, presentations, ISUs. Students are given many assignments from each of their classes in order to be assessed. Some may work really hard and still not get the mark they want, while it may be the opposite for other students. Everyone handles work differently. Work habits will differ from student to student, and therefore the results will differ as well. It's a known fact that each and every student procrastinates and crams at least once in their educational career, but the result of this situation can vary.
As soon as I get home, I try to finish the homework that I get so that I can have free time to do other things, such as chores and just relaxing.
In my mind, I tell myself, like, stay calm, just let's do this today, let's do this tomorrow, let's plan out everything so it doesn't cramp up till the last minute, but I usually end up just doing everything last minute. I mean, like, I feel like I would do better if I did spend more time on it.
Just wash my clothes and wash dishes. That's it.
I work Mondays and Tuesdays, so I don't really do as much work as I should. Yeah, because, like, I don't know, whatever, like, if something affects you, you just keep thinking about it and make you not want to do anything, like, school-wise. Like, you just want to, like, stay in your bed or stay home, like, and when you get home, you don't want to do your homework or anything, you just want to chill there. So, yeah, I think it affects you a lot.
No.
And why?
I just feel that embarrassing.
Embarrassing?
Yeah, who will tell the teacher your problems?
100%, of course. If you don't feel good about yourself and your mental state, rarely are you going to be able to succeed with academics, because it's probably going to be on your mind and you're not going to be able to focus. A lot of times learning something new is based on your confidence. If you don't have that, it's hard to learn new things because you're not going to really think you can.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you're mentally struggling in general, like if you're mentally challenged in general, how do you expect a student to function at school properly? It's also hard for them to reach out, like, for help if they do need help or someone to talk to, and I feel like nobody really thinks these issues are a big deal. People just brush them off, and I feel like mentally and physically too, like, there's not enough being done about this, and no one really talks about it anyways, right? So
I believe that especially if a student has depression or anxiety, then schoolwork, along with social issues or, things with friends or with just school, it really takes an impact on you, especially if you have a lot of things to do and you don't necessarily know how to balance it. You're eventually going to lead toward a breakdown, and it kind of sucks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that the grades that students get are all about self-esteem, and it really influences how they think about themselves.
No, but I think mental wellness can impact the grades. Okay. Right?
The overall format of these subjects kids learn in school is called a curriculum. This consists of compulsory subjects like English and electives, like fashion and business. The curriculum is created in a way to prepare students for their life post-secondary. But are the things they are learning valuable to them? Should they be learning more? There is more to life than how to write a proper essay and how to find the square root of x. These things are important, but they're not necessarily needed to live a good life, right?
I think so. Well, just in bio, because I really like bio, and I want to do like go into the medical field, kind of. So, things I learn in bio, I know I would use.
In the future, I think that probably the stuff I learn in university would help me more than the stuff I learned in high school. Because as I get older, every class kind of negates the last one. Because everything that I learned in grade 9 has been disproved by grade 12. So I feel like I'm not learning anything of purpose.
More things we could use for real life situations. A lot of us won't know what to do when we don't have a job, or when we're going out into the real world. We can't just go to teachers, right? In high school you have teachers who actually care about you, but when you're out of high school you're all alone and you just have to figure out everything by yourself, which is really difficult for some people.
I don't know anything about taxes still, if that's the thing, because I work and I get taxed whatever, but I don't know how that works. And I get a T4 or whatever, but I don't know what that is. I don't know what to do with it, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's important. Teachers expect parents to teach their kids about sex ed, but like a lot of parents don't really know anything about sex ed.
Sex education is very important because, I mean, I know a lot of parents are against this. Like a lot of younger kids, their parents are against this because they're thinking, oh, like I don't want my kids to learn about sex. But it's not just about sex. You know, how they know what's wrong if you don't teach them right from wrong? Parents don't understand that, especially parents from like a different country. They just think, oh no, sex, no, like, but they need to understand it's more than just sex. It's, is this appropriate? Is this wrong? Am I being, is this allowed? Like, some kids don't know that and they're not to blame.
So important. Teaching people about sex doesn't make them want to have sex. Teaching people about safe sex makes them have safe sex. Telling someone about pregnancy doesn't make them get pregnant. It just tells them what to expect, right?
Students who don't get sex education are going to find it in other places that are not necessarily going to be true, right? So if we educate students from a very young age, they can understand, oh, this is not, like, I understand what proper touching is. I understand that what a proper sexual relationship is. And so I know if I come into contact and someone is touching me inappropriately, I understand this is wrong, and I need to tell someone about it. So maybe you stop, thousands of kids getting sexually abused. In a world where there's a lot of this going on, and the more education we give to the students, the more powerful, the more power they have to make better decisions. If we hold that back, it's just being naive. Like we're basically throwing teenagers out there to make decisions for themselves with no knowledge. It's like we wouldn't throw students into a math problem without giving them the proper knowledge. Or English, we're not going to say, hey, write an essay and you don't know how to write a paragraph. That's what we're pretty much doing. We're saying, hey, you know what, practice safe sex. And we're like, well, what is safe? Safe sex is not just wearing a condom. Safe sex means, like, what does a woman say when she's saying, there is consent between a man and a woman during sex, or a woman and a woman, or a man and a man? Do we teach boys what it means to have consent? Is consent just silence? Right? That's not consent. So if we teach girls and boys what is true consent, like how many people are not going to get taken advantage of? How many people are we going to teach what it is to be a good person, what it is to be a good man, not just, well, she didn't say no, so that's okay. Like, that's how we're doing it now. We're kind of in the dark about it.
How are we supposed to learn these things by ourselves when no one else is trying to explain it to us? Like, this year perhaps, like, I haven't learned a lot about sex education, and I think it's important to do that, because what am I supposed to know? What am I supposed to do?
Standardized tests are part of the education system. The EQAO test has been mandatory since 1996, while the OSSLT has been programmed since 2001. Standardized tests are used to test how intelligent a student is when it comes to certain subjects. But are they fair? There are so many students with disabilities that could potentially prevent them from doing well on these certain tests, and this can come with some setbacks. For one, a student can't graduate if they do not pass the OSSLT, and if they fail, they must take a literacy course in grade 12. Is the school board implying that a person is illiterate if they fail the test? Other students could be from different country with English as a second or even third language. Completing the OSSLT with a passing grade would be difficult for someone who is new to the English language, and not passing it could make them feel lesser than others.
And that we shouldn't have to do them because they're just to judge our capability in math and English, and where there are people that aren't as good as others, so it's unfairly just that we all have to do it.
I don't really like standardized testing. It makes me feel stupid for not getting some of the questions, even though, like, I consider myself kind of smart. But it feels like they're kind of tricking you into getting the wrong answer, or, like, it just felt difficult.
It's biased, it's culturally biased. For the literacy test to actually be able to be fair to all the students in Ontario is ridiculous. Also, what are the chances that every student in grade 10 are going to be physically, emotionally, mentally prepared on the exact same day, on the exact same time, in the exact same year? Like, what are the chances that every student is going to be healthy that day, that every student is going to have enough sleep? What are the chances that every student is not going to, or like, not going to have a death in the family, a stressful week beforehand? Like the variances involved in getting everybody in the entire province of Ontario to write the same test at the same time is ridiculous. It doesn't make sense to any other facet of life. If you want to write the LSAT test, there's multiple times a year you can write it. You don't necessarily have to write it at 9 o'clock in the morning. If you're better at writing at night, you can write it at night. So the literacy test doesn't really reflect society when you grow up.
I feel like it's really discouraging, especially because I know on the literacy test you have to score a 75% to pass. So if you're in that position where you've come to the country, you don't necessarily speak English well, or if you have special needs, that this test that everyone has to take isn't necessarily conditioned for you, then it's very discouraging. And I feel that a lot of people, the first time if they're ESL or have special needs, will fail because of that mindset.
No, it hurts, right? It'll take a toll on someone's confidence. My cousin, she came from the Philippines, and she didn't have to do the literacy test, right? But all her friends were doing it, and she was taking ESL, so she did feel left out. And I know a lot of friends at my old school, they failed the literacy test because English is a second language. And I just feel like if they're going to do that, then there should be like different levels, like maybe a test for kids who are in ESL or, applied, academic, because not everyone's the same. It just...
Like pressure.
Pressure?
Yeah, really hard. Because if people in ESL, their English not that good, and even a person who born here, they will feel there's so many work to do, it's kind of hurts, so many article paragraphs. So that's for a ESL person, they're gonna be a hard time,
especially hard, right?
Yeah.
Probably awful, because I know a lot of them did not pass it on their first try, and it's really stupid because I know they're all really, really smart in their language. They're really smart, but in English, because English is a difficult language.
How well a person does in school really depends on what their life outside of school is like. Some may be dealing with severe illness like cancer or depression. Others may be having a rough time at home, while some may have parents who really do not care about them. You can never tell what is going on with a person unless they verbally tell you. Either way, these instances can affect how well someone will do in school. With a constant flow of assignments to do and the heavy weight of life's events, can the intelligence of a person truly be reflected in the work that they do?
Memorizing. Because after you memorize something for a test, you usually just forget it. Whereas learning, it kind of stays with you for a while. But I think most of the students all just memorize for their test and then forget about it, which is a bad thing. But then you want to pass that test, so you just gotta memorize it all.
I see a lot of memorization, but then sometimes, depending on the class, I do see a lot of learning going on. I see that if students are allowed to sort of explore the subject and do what they want to do with it, there's a lot of learning going on.
People memorizing, and I'm not just saying that. Don't get me wrong, teachers, they teach well, right? But to actually teach takes more effort than just giving someone a paper to read. I mean, a student could learn it on their own, but it's gonna be harder. It's gonna be more difficult without someone there telling them what it's about. And I feel like a lot of students nowadays just memorize. Right before a test, you see students reading over and over again, right? That's not learning, that's just memorizing. And, usually right after the test, I don't remember anything about the test. I'm okay, I'm done with this, I don't need to think about it anymore.
I don't think that my grades can necessarily define my intelligence. I feel that sometimes the grade I get is a little too low and that it could be higher. But not necessarily my intelligence, it's just how I've been applying myself. If I haven't put in effort in the semester, then I'm obviously not going to get a good mark. It doesn't necessarily define my intelligence.
Not by a long shot. I know so many people who actually have like real common sense and real understanding of subjects, and their marks do not reflect that at all.
Not really, because how do I put it? The smartest people in the world, if we're even talking about in history, right? Albert Einstein. I think he was forced out of school. Bill Gates is a dropout. Grades really don't have anything to do with a person's intelligence. It just means in school on that given day for that certain assignment or piece of work, how much effort you wanted to put in at that time. That's all it is.
When you see someone get a bad grade and you see another person ask for what grade they get, they always seem so upset about it. And I think that's kind of sad.
I feel like the school system's failed them more than they've failed the school system, because like learning is something you do as growing, like it's something that comes with growing, and we all love learning, but some people just hate it because of what school's done to them. So they get like bad grades and because of it.
I don't think they're stupid. I think they're just, like, if they don't study, I think they're just lazy. But I can't say that because there could be stuff going on at home that I don't know about. So then that prevents them from doing whatever. So I don't really want to like judge them on it, you know?
That it doesn't really measure how well someone can. It might measure what they did that day at that time, but that doesn't mean that they're incapable of doing better, right? We put limits on people based on these results, but let's say that I have a bad day and I'm feeling like crap, and I perform at a 60%. Now all of a sudden I'm a 60% math student, whereas I'm capable of much more than that.
Actually, it's hard to say it.
Good genes. that's what we think. Otherwise, we would all be Bill Gates, right? We'd all be Steve Jobs and all those other Barack Obama, but we're all not.
Two types of people in the world: those who get it and those who don't. There's people that are like book smart that walk around here that can't have a conversation with. So I don't necessarily think that that's intelligent. And there's people that can go out there and talk to anybody in the street and have the social skills of anybody, but can't sit down and read a book for 20 minutes. Is there a lack of intelligence there? I don't really understand how to do advanced level math. And is it because I'm not able to understand that, or am I just not, do I not care to learn it? Just, I don't know, what makes up intelligence? What is intelligence? It's a whole bunch of things.